The most unusual thing about me, I would say, is my family. I have a 7'2" son. And people come out of the woodwork and ask him 2 questions. What 2 questions do you think he always gets? Yes, and what else? Oh, yes. Yes, that too. And what? Do you play basketball? It's like walking around with a rock star. People just jump out in front of him and start taking selfies. Anyway, here's a picture of him right before he got deployed to Iraq. Fortunately for his sake, for his mom's sake, his sister's sake, and my sake, he did come back successfully. And he now runs a tattoo parlor. And that's a picture of me and him. I'm the short one, right after I got my first tattoo. Now, I find that very fascinating, the fact that I can mention that he's 7'2" here, and everybody knows what I'm talking about. But if I were to go back home and say, you know, he's a bit over 2 meters, people just look at me like, 2 meters? Because that's the only metric system we have back in the States. You know, if you think about temperature, for instance, you know, Fahrenheit first came out. It was developed in Amsterdam, and somebody decided, well, that wasn't good enough. You know, the way they decided Fahrenheit temperatures was they came up with a maximum temperature and they gave it 100, the minimum temperature they gave it 0. There was a more advanced system that came out of Sweden called Celsius, which you're familiar with. And this is beautiful, isn't it? I mean, 20 and above, up to 30, it's a great day. You know, below 20 it's cold, above 30 it's warm. Nice and simple. 68 to 86. Well, apparently we Americans didn't get the memo. I mean, it's sort of like your members not getting the upgrade. Right, same thing happened here. So it's so nice to be here, and it just amazes me how much you know about American culture. Now, last night, our team, the CAP team, yes, that David mentioned earlier. Karen? The name of our team? Yes, yes. Could the members please stand up? Let's recognize them. Let's get quizzical. Yes, led by David. Emily?
No, they look like Greg.
Yes. That was our star. Now,
like
I actually was the anchor on the team. You know, like I said, it just amazes me what you know about American culture. The only one that I got right, the only question I got right, maybe you remember, if you were still sober, was, do Americans celebrate Boxer Day? And what was the answer?
No.
Yeah, you know, this is the only thing I don't understand about you Australians. You have a day to honor underwear? You know, briefs, fox. Okay, all right. Well, anyway, as I was walking around this last week, I took some pictures to send back home to see if they could figure out how to translate Australian into American. And they did very, very poorly. So I was hoping that you could help me out, okay? I'm going to show you some of the sites around here and see if you can interpret this and put it into American so I can take it back home. First of all, this sign that's downstairs. How would you say that in American?
Elevator.
Yeah, elevator to? Yes, to the garage. Yes, yes. Thank you, thank you. How about this? Drugstore or pharmacy. How about this?
Burger King.
Yeah, do you know why there are no Burger Kings in Australia? Because when they came here, there was already a sandwich shop in Adelaide that had that name, so they had to come up with a different name, which I actually think is much better. How about this? You know, I sent this back home and they got the wrong idea. But really, if you think about it, this is so much more efficient. You just get in line. It doesn't matter if you're male, female, or family. You're next. Here's another thing that you were so good at. You know, back home we have cars and we have trucks. We have cars and we have trucks. We Australians have put them together. What do you call this for? A crock. Fantastic. Okay, well, let's get to the point of what we're going to be talking about today. Wouldn't you agree that many times the first sales call is like the first date? Who's been on a first date? Who's been on a first sales call? Wouldn't you agree? Okay, well, I was listening to Wes here this morning, and he said he'd like to have some fun. Right, Wes? So we're going to have a little fun here. We are actually going to eavesdrop on a first date. So, if I could please have a lovely young lady to the stage here to help us out. A lovely young lady? Oh, Lisa, come on up. Come on up. Let's welcome Lisa to the stage. You want to test your mic just to see if it's working?
1, 2. Is it working?
Got it?
Yes.
Got it? Okay, thank you. Okay, and if we could have a handsome young gentleman.
Can I pick? I'll go for Wayne.
Okay, let's welcome Wayne to the stage. Okay, speaking of stage, we're going to go ahead and set this for you. So we are going to eavesdrop on a first date. Okay? So what I'd like you to do is to pay attention, and you are all dating coaches. So after these two have an encounter, see if you can give some feedback to help out on this first date. Okay? Ready? Roll them.
G'day. Let me show you one thing. I've had my eye on you for some time. I really have. You know, I've been watching you and that in this convention and that sort of stuff, and it just caught my eye, and I thought it'd be a great opportunity for us to get together. And you know, I know that you're popular because, you know, I feel like, you know, that there's so many other people in this room trying to cut my grass. Convention, you know, people trying to cut in on me. Even the other night when you were standing there, I wanted to come up and say hello, but you know, there's so many area managers here. They're like a flock of seagulls around a cup of chips, like a frog in the sock. And you know, I know that there are other people out there that are interested in you, but you know, I'm the one. You know, I know that there are other people out there. Darryl, for instance, you know, he asks a lot of questions. I don't know whether that's what you're looking for. It's a bit like a kid in a cracker shop. He's going to go off with a bang, but what's that going to be?
Okay, dating coaches, let's give them some feedback. What should Wayne have done differently? Take one time. What's that?
Did he ask a name?
Did he ask? No. No, it's all about him. Yes. What else could he have done different? Pardon me? Okay. What else?
Listen.
Shut up. Okay. What could he have done instead of talking? Ask questions. Yes. Yes. Okay. Other ideas from this side of the room. Okay, well, go ahead.
We reckon he was perfect.
Exactly what you would have done, right? That's why you never got the second date. Okay, let's do take 2, Wayne. Take into account the feedback you got from your dating coaches. Let's try it again. Roll them.
Hi, I'm Wayne. What's your name?
Oh, Lisa, nice to meet you.
How are you, Lisa?
I'm very well, thank you.
I'm a little bit nervous, but can I interest you in some polite conversation? So, it's not about me, it's about you. Tell me about yourself. What do you like to do? How do you spend your time?
I love to travel.
Are you kidding? So do I.
Really?
Yeah.
Who do you book through?
Always selling!
Just a little travel organisation, but they're really nice. Where have you been? What have you done?
Well, I
in
like
your
the
life?
States.
Okay.
Yes, I'm originally from the UK, so I like to go back home. What about you?
You've got beautiful blue eyes too.
Oh,
I had
Slightly tinged
slightly tinged red. I think we share that.
Okay, I'm probably going to have to cut this off here, right? I mean, we have this saying in Las Vegas, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I don't know about the same for the Gold Coast, but I'll tell you what, let's give them a round of applause. Don't go yet. I do have, no, we appreciate you coming up here, so I do have some special prizes for you. Let me, all the way from the States I brought this. Let me just, wait here, let me put this down. A fresh, crisp $1 million bill. And there you go. Okay, another round of applause for... Now, don't worry. The $2 million, that's coming out of David's budget because he did lose the trivia contest. So it's all fun. Okay, so what did we learn from that encounter that we could apply on a first sales call? Well, what we find is that many salespeople on a first sales call, and of course nobody in this room, what do? They talk about the history of their company. They talk about the features and benefits of their products and services. Or, as Jeff told us yesterday, they talk about time and labor versus benefits to their customers, the members do. Well, what happens here is, once again, they don't care. They don't care. I would like to suggest to you that everybody listens to their own favorite radio station. Everybody listens to the same station, as a matter of fact. And to prove my point, I'm going to go off on a limb here and take a quick survey. This is scary because this is live TV. David, your favorite station is what?
Well, I've actually seen the next slide, so I'm not sure I can say anything.
Okay. All right, Jason.
Nova.
Nova. Okay, I'm sorry, from the States. What do they play?
Just general rock and pop music.
Okay, and that's your favorite, Brad?
I'm in the same boat as David, if you recall.
Help me out, Greg.
I listen to ABC Classic FM.
Oh, and what do they play?
Classical music.
Not classical rock, but classical. Oh my. Lisa?
I listen to Buddha Radio.
What is that?
They play chill out tunes, just gentle, gentle rock.
All right, I may as well put one behind, but Dale, help me out here.
CFM.
And what's that?
80s and 90s.
80s and 90s.
Music.
You know, my wife and I had this conversation recently. 30 years from now, we're going to be the oldies. You ever thought about that? Okay, I said everybody listens to the same station. Did they prove me wrong?
Yeah.
You know what its call letters are? WIIFM. WIIFM. What's that stand for?
What's in it for me?
Say it again.
What's in it for me?
Excellent, excellent. What does it mean? Everybody has their own favorite station that's playing in their heads. They look at every situation and see how it's going to benefit them. If it does, they pay attention. If not, they tune it out. The interesting thing is everybody else, our coworkers, our members, their customers work exactly the same way. The other day I was riding along with my 7'2" son, and I started to say something I swore I would never ever say when I was your age. And I could just see Stephen's eyes roll the back of his head because he doesn't care about the old man's good old days. Stephen, when I was your age, you could buy a new car for $5,000. That's great, Dad, but you never bought one for me. I know that if I want to bond with my son, I got to talk about what? What interests him? Which happens to be video games. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm still stuck on Pong from the 70s. So it's been a challenge to brush up Nintendo, Xbox, Game Boy, GameCube, Kinect, Wii. And last week he was playing a video game with a guitar. You ever seen this? Guitar Hero? Yes. Yes. But if I want to bond with him, I got to talk about what interests him, not what interests me. But who gets sales that say something like this? We've been in Australia since 1905. The company was started by my great-grandfather. We have 10,000 installations, 15,000 satisfied clients. So what? Who cares? What's in it for me? Right? Or I used to work. I would get emails that would say something like this. I'm so-and-so. I'm in charge of such and such. Our objective is this and that. So what? Who cares? What's in it for me? In fact, who's going to have to write an email when you go back to the office next week? Kind of a stupid question, right? You know how many emails are sent and received worldwide each day? 115 per user. You want to judge the effectiveness of that email? Count the number of pronouns. Number of I's versus the number of U's. The more U's you have, and they're the what's in it for you to do it this way, the more effective you're going to be. In fact, back home, Zig Ziglar said, you can get anything you want in this life if you show up with the people how to get what they want. Now, what I'd like to do at this point is to recognize Jocelyn. Jocelyn, if you could kindly stand up for a second. Yeah, stand up. The reason for this is, I don't know if you've seen, hopefully you have, the materials coming out of the marketing department. These are brilliant! Because not only do they talk about the features and benefits, there's a column there that says, This is what's in it for you. WIIFM. I can't believe every organization doesn't do that, but Jocelyn and her team does, so give her a round of applause.